This screencast is going to talk about task 2, which is to implement the ambassador pattern. So our first requirement was to use Docker Compose to configure containers. The other was so that we can have connection between the client and the server via the ambassador containers. And we also need to use VMs such that they're hosted on separate hosts and not on the same host. So these are the two VMs that I'm using for implementing the ambassador pattern. As you can see, the addresses are of 243.4 and 190, and this is 215.5. So they are hosted on separate hosts. So first thing I'm going to do is show you the Docker Compose file. So this is the server. So 15.215.9 is the server on which the Redis server is hosted, and I'll just show you the Docker Compose file. So it's a simple Docker Compose file in which you have an ambassador container, which has its Docker file inside this ambassador directory, and then it just says that I want to map 6379 to port 1679, and I want to have links to the Redis container, which will be built up by this part of the compose file. And so it just builds using the Docker file in the current directory, which is this Docker file. I'm just gonna quickly show you. So this Docker file just gets an Ubuntu image and then installs at the server, and then exposes the 679 port, and also on its entry point it just runs the Redis server. So this is what happens. So I'm gonna go and run this Docker Compose, and let's see. So first of all, there are no Docker containers running. Let's just confirm that. As you can see, there's nothing. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and do Docker Compose up. And the server needs to be running in the daemon, so I'm using Docker Compose up -t. So creating Redis and the task, and so we have two task ambassador task and then Redis, which are up 4 seconds and 5 seconds respectively, and these are the port mappings as displayed. And so let's move on to our client. So let me show you how the client Docker Compose look like. So here also we have two containers, the client ambassador and the Redis client. So the Redis client is going to connect to the is going to be linked to the client ambassador, and this is the IP address of the server that we are defining as Redis port. And as you can see, this is 251.9 here, and similarly here. So all the client knows about is the client ambassadors, which it does not know anything about the IP address of the server. So, and I'm quickly, the structure is similar here. Also I have an ambassador directory in which I have the Docker file, and let's go. So this is the ambassador file which we were using for one of our workshops, which was the advanced Docker workshop as well. And now I'll show you the other Docker file. This just gets Redis server as well, and then on its entry point it just runs to bash. So alright, so I'm just gonna go and run this file. So as you can see, creating client ambassador, and now we are in the client container and in which the shell is running. So I'll just show you what are the containers that are running right now. So as you can see, 17 and 18 seconds ago it was created, and this is the Redis client, and this is the client ambassador. So let's just set some values and see what happens. Set key true. Let me try to get key true. So it's running fine. So as soon as I get out of the shell, this container is going to be removed because of the RM option that we provided. So I'm gonna just go and do exit. Yeah. So I'm out of the container now. Let's see how does this reflect. So I only have one container running. So let's just try and run this container again. So now I try to access the value that we set in the earlier session, which is get key. So as you see, the key value pair still persists. That means like this connection is still active, the server is still running, and this is working fine. So this was all about the task 2 of Homework 4.